بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وقرة أعيننا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في كتابه العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وهو الذي جعل لكم النجوم لتهتدوا بها في ظلمات البر والبحر صدق الله العظيم. وفي حديث الشريف عن وابصة رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لوابصة جئت تسأل عن البر والإثم؟ قال قلت نعم. قال فجمع أصابعه، يعني الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم جمع أصابعه فضرب بها صدره وقال استفتي نفسك استفتي قلبك يا وابصة ثلاثا، يعني قال له ذلك 3 مرات. البر ما اطمأنت إليه النفس واطمأن إليه القلب، والإثم ما حاك في صدرك وتردد في الصدر ونفتاك الناس وافتوك. صدق رسول الله الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاكرين والشاهدين والحمد لله لرب العالمين. The hadith that I just narrated to you is a hadith al-Wabisa, in which the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gives this blessed sahabi of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam some advice. And the advice that is discussed in this hadith has to be put in context. And it discusses an objective and something that we as Muslim Americans must strive for within our hearts, within the hearts of our children, and within our communities. And the reason is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has explained to us that as the time of Dajjal comes closer, one of the things that Dajjal always does, one of the things or jobs that the Dajjal does, is that he confuses and brings truth to look like falsehood and falsehood to look like truth. The word Dajjal actually means to mix things up. And that is one of the things that the Dajjal does, is mix things up. I want to begin with a hadith which is narrated, which is narrated by Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir narrates a supplication which has been passed down from the Salaf, our previous generations. And the dua is, Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqa warzuqni ittiba' wa arini al-batila batila warzuqna ijtinaba minhu. This dua, brothers and sisters, is basically what I want to discuss in today's khutbah. This dua says there are 2 levels to hidayah. There are 2 levels to hidayah. Hidayah guidance. And subsequently 2 levels to misguidance. In this supplication, we are taught, O Allah, arini, allow me to see the haqq as haqq. And O Allah, allow me to see the batil as batil. This dua is so profound because it reminds us that sometimes, very often, the haqq may not look like haqq, the truth may not look like truth, and the batil may not look like batil. But the entire purpose of prophethood, the entire purpose of the coming of our blessed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to calibrate the moral compass of society, to calibrate the moral compass of society is the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down prophets to humanity. What do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. The role and purpose of a compass is what? The role and purpose of the compass is to let you know how to get to the direction that you want to go to. But how does it do that? A busala, a compass, works this way. Obviously, we all learned this in elementary school. That the magnetic force of the North Pole and South Pole create these magnetic poles that allow the compass to point to north and subsequently allow us to know where south is and every other direction is. What I want to speak about today is the moral compass and the calibration of that moral compass, which the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam come to do. And let me give you an example. A young Ansari boy, a boy from Medina, who had accepted Islam, a young man, he once came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and Abu Umama radiallahu anh, another Sahabi, narrates this incident. He says that, Inna fatan shaban, a young man, he once came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the masjid is full with all the other kibar of the Sahaba, all the other big elder Sahaba are sitting in the masjid as well. So when this young man comes and he wants to talk to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, Ya Rasulullah, I'm Muslim, alhamdulillah, I've accepted Islam, everything is A-okay, everything is great. But Ya Rasulullah, idhinli fi zina. I got one, get out of jail free card I need. I need one exemption, if so to speak. I need you to exempt me from one thing, Ya Rasulullah. Idhinli fi zina. Ya Rasulullah, just allow me to commit zina. The moment he asked permission to fornicate, the moment he asked this, the hadith says, فَأَقْبَلَ الْقَوْمَ عَلَيْهِ فَزَجُرُوهُ. All of the elders right away, they said, oh my goodness, what are you saying? لَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. In front of the Prophet ﷺ, how could you ask something so vile, so evil? Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Now the hadith is profound because the Prophet ﷺ did not have that reaction. The Prophet ﷺ had a different reaction. The Prophet ﷺ said, first thing first, udnu, come close to me. When we speak about compasses and how compasses work, a compass will give you the correct direction as long as it's sitting somewhere and it doesn't have any other magnetic things around it. One way to throw off a compass is to just put another magnet near it. We all know this trick. They teach us in grade school. You have a compass, it tells you where north is. But the moment you put another magnet near it, you can automatically start to make it point a different direction. The moral compass which is inside of each and every one of us, that moral compass which Allah has placed inside each and every one of us, is called that fitrah. And fitrah is the natural disposition which is placed inside every human being. And there are three qualities, defining qualities of a clean fitrah. The first quality is that it recognizes good as good. The second quality is that it recognizes bad as bad. And the third quality is that it naturally wants to know who its creator is. The Prophet ﷺ has explained to us that the role of Dajjal is to do the exact opposite. The role of Shaitan is to do the exact opposite. It is to make the person see falsehood as true and truth as falsehood. So this young man who now in the presence of the Prophet ﷺ so boldly says, why don't you just allow me to commit zina? Immediately everyone else whose moral compasses are calibrated, they go, mah, what are you saying? The Prophet ﷺ, he says, come close. Why? Because the way to calibrate the moral compass, the way to calibrate the moral compass is to put it in good company and surround it by positive influences. So the first thing he says to him is, udunu, come close to me. Many of our youth don't recognize haqq as haqq anymore. They don't recognize falsehood as falsehood anymore. And the profound meaning found inside this dua, if we read the whole dua, the dua says, Allahumma arina al-haq warzuqni ittiba'. Oh Allah, allow me to see the truth as truth and then give me the ability to follow it. If we're struggling with following the truth, we need to understand that the first threshold, the first place of guidance is the ability to actually see truth as truth and see falsehood as falsehood. And this is the first thing that is attacked by the society, and hence the need for the moral compass to be calibrated. You know, Imam Ghazali rahimahullah, speaking about this relative perception of truth and falsehood, he gives a very good example. He says, you know, if you're sick, I'll give a personal example. I like fried foods, unfortunately. Right? So, you know, in Ramadan, when I just start thinking of the samosa, then I start to salivate. You know what I mean, right? You guys, maybe you never experienced that. Okay, whatever. Right? You're gonna pretend. You just start thinking about what you know, being cooked at home, and you start to salivate a bit, just thinking about the fried food. I didn't smell it yet. Now, if I smell it, oh my goodness, then you know it's just all coming down, right? Subhanallah, just the smell of that fried food creates a reaction inside of us, normally speaking. But what about when you have a very, very bad stomach virus? What about when you have a very, very bad stomach virus and someone's in the kitchen frying some food? What reaction happens now? What happens to you? Imam Ghazali, he says that a sick man, if you give him asal, if you give him shahad, if you give him honey, then the honey may taste bitter to him. He says, but the honey's not bitter. But the sickness inside of him is what now makes this honey taste bitter. Similarly, those fried foods, just if I thought about it in Ramadan, made me salivate. When I'm sick, the smell of it makes me want to puke. The smell of it makes me want to throw up everything. Why? Does it have a foul odor? No, because of the sickness that lies in me has now made my perception of that odor sickening to myself. Subhanallah, this is profound, because what it tells you is your perception of truth and falsehood may be off. So this dua that I'm teaching you, Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqa, oh Allah, allow me to see true as true, is like saying, oh Allah, allow me to taste sweet food as sweet food. Oh Allah, allow me to smell good smells and they smell good to me. Oh Allah, give me that ability, because sometimes we simply don't have that ability. See, that is the first step of hidayah, is recognizing truth as true. And as I will reiterate from the beginning of this khutbah, the very first place that is attacked by Dajjal, as I said, the word Dajjal means just to cover up something, to mix it up. The very first thing attacked by Dajjal is this perception of what is true and what is false. So this young man came, and he asked the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Rasulullah, zina looks pretty good to me. His north was south, his south was north, in the context of moral compass calibration. He says, Ya Rasulullah, Islam is great, I love it, but I need a get out of jail free card for this one action. The Prophet ﷺ says, come here, come close. Come close. He comes and he begins to talk to him. And this is the issue that many of our families suffer from. When we start to see the moral compass of our children, our youth going off, do we engage in dialogue with them? Do we attempt to recalibrate that with other than yelling at them, threatening abuse, or threatening some punishment? Do we enter into dialogue with them? The Prophet ﷺ, he chose the latter. He engaged in dialogue. He said to the young man, أَتُحِبُّ ذَلِكَ لِأُمِّكَ? Would you like that to happen with your mom? Right away he said, Astaghfirullah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. أَتُحِبُّ ذَلِكَ لِأُخْتِكَ? Would you like that for your sister? He says, no, by no means. He says, so how could you fathom doing that with someone else's mother or someone else's sister? He said, a light bulb. The moral compass was calibrated. North was north, south was south again. He said, subhanAllah, the hadith says that when he got up from there, the Prophet ﷺ made a dua for him. And he said, the narration says, there was no sin more hated in his eyes than the sin of zina after that one discussion, after that one moral compass calibration session that he had with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now let's look at one more hadith. The hadith that I began with was the hadith of Wabisa. The hadith of Wabisa is profound because it brings us to the other side of the spectrum. How so? Wabisa is an elder Sahabi. He's been in the game for a long time, you could say. His compass is calibrated. He has the recognition. So he comes to the Prophet ﷺ and he asks the Prophet ﷺ about bir. Well, the hadith actually says, as he's approaching, the Prophet ﷺ says, Ya Wabisa, jitta tas'al an al-bir wal-itham. You're coming to ask me about bir and itham. Miraculously, he understood already. So Wabisa confirms, he says, yes, that's why I came. So the hadith tells us that the Rasul ﷺ, he gathered his three fingers, all of his fingers together, and he started to tap on the heart of Wabisa. And he says something that's profound in context of what we're speaking about. He says, Ya Wabisa, istafti nafsak, istafti qalbak, thalatha marrat. 3 times he said to him, Ya Wabisa, why are you asking me, man? I'm paraphrasing. Ya Wabisa, why are you asking me? Why are you asking me? Istafti nafsak. You want to know what righteousness is? You want to know what sin is? Oh Wabisa, don't ask me. Ask your nafs. Ask your heart. Now let's pause. This hadith is many people's favorite hadith. What? Halal, haram? Don't ask the shaykh. Just ask my heart? SubhanAllah. That's easy. That's so easy. SubhanAllah. Rasul ﷺ is speaking to Wabisa. He tells him, he says, Al-bir matma'anna ilayhi nafs. Al-bir, righteousness, is that thing which brings peace and comfort to your heart. Wal-itham ma haka fi sadrik. O Wabisa, O you. Now in context of our conversation on moral compass calibration, he says, O you whose compass is already calibrated. He didn't say to the young man who's asking permission to commit zina, he didn't say to him, Ya walad istafti nafsak. Ya walad istafti nafsak, istafti qalbak. Why did he not say that to him? He didn't say that to him because his compass wasn't calibrated yet. It had to be calibrated, it had to be set correct. But Wabisa now, subhanAllah, whose heart is calibrated already, who already recognizes haqq as haqq, and recognizes ma'ruf, the good as good, and the falsehood as falsehood, he says, Ya Wabisa, the thing that your heart is at peace with, this is bir. And the thing that bothers your heart, the thing that bothers your heart, O Wabisa, that thing is a sin. Brothers and sisters, before I move on to the second khutbah, I'm going to conclude by letting us understand that the major front that we have to defend, the major front that has to be defended for our iman and for our children's faith is this supplication, the recognition of haqq and the recognition of batil. We can't hope for following it if we don't see it as true. We can't hope to stay away from it if we don't see it as falsehood. This is what the Prophet ﷺ used to make dua for, and this is what the Prophet ﷺ spent his time exerting and fixing within the community and within the society that he lived within. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ability to see haqq as haqq and the ability to follow it. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ability to see falsehood as falsehood and to stay away from it. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى وهو الذي جعلكم النجوم لتهتدوا بها في ظلمات البر وَالْبَحْرِ. To conclude this discussion, brothers and sisters, I would like to bring a stronger example of what it looks like when a person's moral compass has been calibrated already. There is a well-known Sahabi who was given the title Al-Faruq. Al-Faruq comes from the root word farada. And there's another word that is found in the Quran that also comes from that root word. Before I go into that, we should understand that Faruq was the title given to Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu. The second Khalifa of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was given the title Faruq. And the reason he was given the title Faruq is because Faruq means the one who can decipher, who can differentiate between haqq and batil. And regarding that quality, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said about Umar Faruq, when Umar Faruq walks down a street, Shaitan's like, I'm out, I'm going the other way. Shaitan's like, I can't be in that same space. And the reason, the subtle reason is because when you look at the role and the objective of Shaitan, the objective of Shaitan is simply confusion. وَلِيَلْبِسُ عَلَيْهِمْ دِينُهُمْ, to simply confuse you about haqq and batil. That's his role. But Umar Faruq, by being given this title, this laqab, this nickname by the Prophet ﷺ, we learn that he has within him a special quality, and that quality is that his moral compass was calibrated to the utmost. And the calibration that he had within himself allowed him to see the tricks and ploys and the deception of Shaitan. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he gave them this title of Faruq. Now in the Quran we learn شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The month of Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed. Why? هدى للناس هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى. And what's the third thing? وَالْفُرْقَانِ. What is Furqan? يَا أَيُّهَا إِن تَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ فُرْقَانًا. What is Furqan? It's none other than the calibration of your moral compass within inside of you. Your ability to recognize haqq as haqq. This is what Furqan is. This is what the Quran was revealed to do. This is the reason why the prophets were sent to humanity. And brothers and sisters, if you don't believe me, speak to your children. Have an in-depth conversation about right and wrong. Have an in-depth conversation about haqq and batil, and see where their compass is calibrated to. See where their compass is calibrated. And does it have two settings? In the masjid calibration and on the campus calibration. Because haqq and batil over there is one thing, and when the imam is speaking, haqq and batil means something completely different. It's our role as teachers, as parents, to pass on that moral intelligence to the next generation. And the first aspect of moral intelligence, which the Prophet ﷺ gave to society, is the calibration of the moral compass. And that, brothers and sisters, is what our topic for tonight's halaqah will be. How? Yeah, Imam, Shaykh, you talked about moral compass now for 30 minutes. How do you calibrate the moral compass? I'll leave you with one hadith, but just understand tonight's halaqah will be about specifically that. Calibrating the moral compass. How do we do that? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, in a well-known hadith, إِنَّ مِنْ عِبَادِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ مِنْ عفوا سامحني. The hadith says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْأَبْرَارَ الْأَتْقِيَاءَ الْخِطَّاءَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the righteous who are hidden. These are people who are righteous, but nobody knows them. They're not the big name, they're just hidden amongst the people. الَّذِينَ إِذَا غَابُوا لَمْ يَفْتَقِدْ. The Rasul ﷺ says such people who don't have a following, no tabi'as, no followers on Facebook, no followers on Instagram. إِذَا غَابُوا لَمْ يَفْتَقِدْ. If they're absent, nobody knows they're even gone. وَإِذَا حَضَرُوا لَمْ يُعْدَ. If they're there, لَمْ يُدْعَوْا. If they're there, people don't even realize, count that they're there, they're not called. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, قُلُوبُهُمْ مَصَابِيحُ الْهُدَى يَخْرُجُونَ مِنْ كُلِّ غَبْرَاءَ مُظْلِمَةٍ. Here's the point. قُلُوبُهُمْ مَصَابِيحُ الْهُدَى. Their hearts, these people. Why is this important? If you were here from the beginning of the khutbah, I spoke about a compass that is calibrated and pulled by the natural magnetic forces of the earth. If you take a small magnet, nothing like the magnetic pull of the North Pole or South Pole, if you take a small compass and put it magnet and put it next to a compass, it'll throw off the compass. Regardless of how small it is, how insignificant its size is in compared to the North Pole, the fact that it's so close to the compass will throw off the settings of the compass. The Prophet ﷺ is teaching us in this hadith that there are such people, masabihul huda, that they themselves become lights and lanterns of guidance. يَخْرُجُونَ مِنْ كُلِّ غَبْرَةٍ. They find their way out of every darkness. The point, brothers and sisters, is that protection of the environment and surrounding yourself with good company is the primary way for calibrating the moral compass. We will talk about more ways of calibrating the moral compass and the importance of doing that in tonight's halaqah, inshallah ta'ala. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq to recognize haqq as haqq and give us the ability to follow that as well. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وارض اللهم عن جميع أصحاب نبيك أجمعين وعن الخلفاء الراشدين أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن بقية الستة من العشرة المبشرة وعن أهل بيت نبيك أجمعين وعنا معهم بفضلك وجودك وكرمك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اعزنا ولا تذلنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى يا رب العالمين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتناب منه يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اصلح شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين. عباد الله رحمكم الله. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله تعالى يذكركم ودعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقيموا الصلاة.